In the market, are you the person holding the fishing rod, or are you the fish swimming straight toward the hook? This is not a rhetorical question designed to make this video sound dramatic. This is a question of survival. Because the market, no matter how many layers of mathematics it wears, no matter how many quantitative models, complex algorithms, or sophisticated terms like market efficiency or optimal asset allocation are attached to it, its fundamental nature remains the same. It is an ocean where there are predators, and there is prey. There is no middle ground that lasts forever. Over time, whether you realize it or not, you will become one of these two types of participants. I have spent a significant part of my life studying and teaching behavioral finance, and I can tell you a difficult truth. The majority of people who participate in financial markets have no idea that they are the prey. They believe they are investing. They believe they are analyzing data. They believe they are making rational decisions based on information and logic. But in reality, many of them are simply swimming along the current that has been created by the fisherman, moving exactly where they are expected to move. Let me explain why. And in this video, I will take you through every layer of this story. An amateur fisherman throws a hook into the water and waits. That is gambling. But a professional fisherman, someone who depends on fishing for survival, never operates that way. They study what the fish eat and when they eat it. They study where the fish gather when the water is shallow, where they move when the water becomes deep, how they react when they see movement in the bait, and where their blind spots are. In financial markets, the professional fisherman is the institutional money flow. It is the large financial institutions, hedge funds, market makers, and at an even more sophisticated level, high-frequency trading algorithms. They are not guessing. They are designing traps based on predictable human behavior. And the crowd, the majority of retail traders, becomes the school of fish. Not because they are stupid, but because they are predictable. And in financial markets, anything that can be predicted can eventually be exploited. This is the most subtle point in the entire story I want to share with you. The fisherman does not give the fish what it needs to survive. The fisherman gives the fish what it wants in that exact moment. A shiny piece of bait, something moving, something attractive, something appearing at the perfect time when the fish is hungry. In the financial markets, the bait appears in many different forms. A powerful bullish candle after a long period of accumulation, creating the fear of missing out and pushing traders to buy exactly near the top. A sensational piece of news released at the perfect moment, triggering extreme fear or extreme greed. A psychologically attractive price level, round numbers like 50,000 or 100,000, where thousands of traders place stop-loss orders and pending orders, creating a massive pool of liquidity. The fish does not see the hook, it only sees the bait. The amateur trader does not see the liquidity trap. They only see a perfect opportunity for the price to continue higher. After decades of studying market structure, I categorize the fishermen into three different levels. The first level is the market maker. These are entities responsible for providing two-sided liquidity to the market. But they also possess a significant informational advantage because they can see where large concentrations of orders are likely sitting. They know where clusters of stop-loss orders are accumulated, and price often moves toward these areas before the real reversal begins. The second level is institutional money, often referred to as smart money. This includes hedge funds, investment banks, and massive asset management firms. They cannot simply enter or exit enormous positions in one single transaction without causing major price movements. Therefore, they must accumulate or distribute positions gradually. During this process, they often create price patterns that cause retail traders to misunderstand the true direction of the market. Retail traders see a breakout. Institutions see liquidity. Retail traders see confirmation. Institutions see opportunity. The third level is liquidity-hunting algorithms, the most advanced form of modern market predators. These algorithms are designed to identify areas where large amounts of stop-loss orders are concentrated. These areas are usually found just below previous lows or just above previous highs. The algorithm can push price into these zones within seconds, triggering thousands of orders, collecting liquidity, and then reversing the market direction. The retail trader believes the market is broken out. But what actually happened was a liquidity extraction process. The trap was never hidden. The problem was that most people were looking only at the bait, not the hook. What keeps the crowd trapped as prey forever is not a lack of knowledge. It is because they allow ancient survival instincts to control modern financial decisions. The human brain evolved to respond to immediate danger, to run when it sees blood, and to rush forward when it sees food. But the market is not a jungle, even though it operates according to many of the same laws found in the jungle. When prices collapse sharply, instinct says, "Get out, there is danger," and traders sell exactly at the bottom. When prices surge aggressively, instinct says, "Move quickly before you miss out," and traders buy exactly at the top. This is not a coincidence. This is a mechanism that is systematically exploited. Before I present the method of becoming the person holding the fishing rod, I want you to watch this video as a mirror and honestly confront yourself. Ask yourself, do you place your stop loss just below an obvious low or just above an obvious high? If you do, you are voluntarily swimming directly into the area where the hook is already waiting. Because that is where everyone places their orders, and everyone becomes the liquidity pool that large players need in order to execute their positions. Do you enter a trade immediately after seeing an explosive candle that has already traveled 70 to 80% of its entire move? That is exactly the moment when the prey bites the hook. The excitement has reached its peak, and that is often when smart money begins distributing their positions. Do you change your trading plan while a trade is already open, simply because price moves against you for a few minutes? That is a sign of a creature controlled by immediate emotions rather than by a tested strategy. Do you believe the market is fair and that prices always perfectly reflect true supply and demand? This is one of the most naive beliefs, and also one of the most dangerous psychological baits, because it causes you to lower your guard. If you recognize yourself in at least two of these four signs, I am not saying this to discourage you. I am saying this to wake you up. Because the first step to no longer being the fish is admitting that you have been the fish before. Now let me step away from the role of a philosopher and step into the role of a practical market interpreter, someone who has spent thousands of hours standing in front of price charts, observing not the price itself, but the behavior behind the price. The first principle is this: read the liquidity map, not the indicators. A skilled fisherman does not look at the surface of the water and make guesses. They look at where the school of fish is gathering. On a price chart, the school of fish represents areas with high concentrations of stop-loss orders and pending orders. These areas are usually found just below recent swing lows, where buyers place their stop losses, just above recent swing highs, where sellers place their stop losses, and around major psychological round numbers. Let me give you a specific example in this video. Assume a currency pair is trading within a range, with the most recent low established at 1.0850. Thousands of traders buy at this support zone and place their stop losses just below it, perhaps around 1.0840. This is where the school of fish gathers. What usually happens next is that price drops sharply below that level, sometimes within just a few minutes, creating an unusually large candle that wipes out all those stop-loss orders. This is known as a stop hunt, or a liquidity grab. Then, after collecting that liquidity, price aggressively reverses higher, continuing in the original direction. Those who had their stop losses triggered became the meal. Those who understand this mechanism wait for that exact moment of the liquidity sweep to enter the trade, instead of entering too early and becoming the bait. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is observable liquidity behavior that repeatedly appears across every time frame and every market, from Forex, stocks, to cryptocurrencies. The second principle is this: trading volume is the footprint of the big fish. A small fish creates small ripples. A large fish creates large ripples. In the market, those ripples are represented by trading volume. When price rises but volume gradually declines, it is a sign that the upward momentum is losing strength, like a wave losing energy before it breaks. On the other hand, when price moves sideways within a narrow range but volume suddenly surges, it is a sign that large money is quietly accumulating or distributing positions before the rest of the market realizes what is happening. For example, imagine a stock moving sideways for 3 weeks between 45,000 and 47,000 Vietnamese dong, appearing boring and completely unattractive. But if the average trading volume during this sideways period doubles compared to the previous 3 months, this is often a sign of accumulation. Large capital is quietly buying at lower prices, preparing for a strong upward move afterward. The amateur ignores this boring phase because of impatience. The true fisherman sees it as one of the most important signals. The third principle is this: never be the last person to arrive at the party. When a trend has already traveled a long distance, when it is being constantly discussed by mainstream media, and when even people who have never invested before start talking about it, that is when the school of fish is swimming in the largest numbers into shallow water where the net has already been prepared. The question a mature trader must always ask before entering a position is not, "How much can I make?" The real question is, "Who is selling to me at this price, and why are they willing to sell?" If the answer is because the crowd has reached extreme excitement and is willing to pay almost any price, then there is a high probability that you are buying exactly what smart money is selling. The fourth principle is this: disciplined capital management, the safety net of the fisherman himself. One paradox that I always emphasize in this video is that even the best fishermen will sometimes have the fish break the line. No method is correct 100% of the time. The difference between a professional fisherman and the prey is not the ability to always be right. The difference is how they manage risk when they are wrong. The practical rule here is simple: never risk more than 1 to 2% of your total capital on a single trade. This is not excessive caution. This is the fundamental requirement for surviving in the market long enough to learn, adapt, and improve. Always define your stop loss and take profit levels before entering a trade, not afterward. The emotions that appear while a position is open are always the greatest enemy. And the minimum risk-to-reward ratio should be 1 to 2, meaning the potential profit should be at least twice the amount you are willing to lose, allowing you to survive the inevitable losing trades. The fifth principle is patience, the virtue that the school of fish never possesses. A professional fisherman can sit for hours, even an entire day, without throwing the line once, because they are waiting for the right moment when the valuable target appears, instead of wasting energy chasing every small ripple. The fish, on the other hand, is always moving, always swimming, always searching, always reacting to every stimulus. This is the fundamental difference between a professional trader and an amateur trader. Professionals trade far less frequently than amateurs, but every position they take is carefully considered, has a higher probability of success, and offers a better risk-to-reward ratio. Allow me to present a typical scenario in this video to demonstrate how all of these principles work together. Imagine a stock index that has been in a long-term uptrend, but has just experienced a 3-session decline, causing the majority of retail traders to panic and start selling, believing that the bullish trend has come to an end. A trader with a fish mentality will react emotionally. They see 3 consecutive red days, become fearful, and sell exactly at the bottom of the correction, where selling pressure reaches its highest level and where liquidity is most abundant for large capital to quietly accumulate positions. A trader with the mindset of the fisherman will do the opposite, following a completely different process. First, they observe whether this decline is accompanied by a significant increase in volume. If selling volume does not increase proportionally with the speed of the price decline, it is a sign of a weak correction, not a true trend reversal. Second, they identify the area with the highest concentration of stop-loss orders, usually located just below the previous swing low of the existing uptrend, and wait for price to sweep through that liquidity zone. Third, when price breaks below that liquidity area with an unusually strong bearish candle, accompanied by a sudden surge in volume that is quickly absorbed, and price fails to continue lower but instead immediately rebounds, this becomes the confirmation signal. The school of fish has been swept away. Large capital has completed its accumulation at a favorable price. Fourth, they enter a long position immediately after that confirmation signal, placing their stop loss safely below the newly formed low, while targeting the previous high or potentially an even higher level. This is not about predicting the future. This is about understanding the current behavior of money flow through liquidity structure, something the fish can never do because it is too busy reacting out of fear. At this point, I want to take you one level deeper in this video, beyond trading techniques, and into the true philosophy behind the entire problem. Nietzsche once wrote that when you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss also stares back into you. The financial market is exactly such an abyss. It has no consciousness. It has no evil intentions. It does not want to harm anyone. But it reflects the weaknesses of the person observing it with absolute accuracy. The real enemy is not large capital. It is not algorithms. It is not market makers. The real enemy is the parts of ourselves that have not yet been mastered. The greed we feel when profit appears within reach. The fear that emerges when losses appear in front of us. The ego that refuses to admit we are wrong. And the impatience that demands everything happen immediately. Large players do not create these weaknesses inside us. They simply recognize them and exploit them systematically, just as the fisherman does not create the hunger instinct of the fish. The fisherman simply takes advantage of it. Therefore, the path to becoming the person holding the fishing rod is not only about learning technical patterns, understanding liquidity, or mastering capital management. The path begins with self-awareness. You must understand exactly which psychological weaknesses inside you cause you to behave in predictable ways, and then consciously break that predictability. When you no longer act purely on instinct, when you can observe your own fear rising without allowing it to control the finger that clicks the order button. When you can feel greed whispering, "Keep going, do not miss this opportunity," and still remain committed to your original plan. That is the moment you truly step away from the role of the prey. As the conclusion to the practical section of this video, I want to leave you with 3 questions that I believe every trader should ask themselves before placing any trade as a discipline ritual. The first question: am I entering this trade because I have observed a clear market structure, or because I am afraid of missing something that everyone around me is talking about? The second question: if this trade fails, do I know exactly how much I will lose, and is that amount large enough to keep me awake at night? The third question: am I acting the same way thousands of other people are acting at this exact moment? And if so, who is standing on the other side of this trade benefiting from that behavior? If you can answer all 3 questions honestly and calmly before every trade, you have already traveled more than halfway from being the fish to becoming the person holding the fishing rod. I would like to close this video with one final reflection. Financial markets have existed in many different forms for hundreds of years, from the rice exchanges of Osaka in the 17th century to Wall Street in the 20th century, to the 24/7 cryptocurrency markets operating today. The tools have changed, the speed has changed, but the fundamental nature of human behavior, greed, fear, impatience, and the desire to prove that we are right, has remained almost exactly the same throughout the centuries. Because human nature does not change, liquidity traps, stop-loss hunts, and periods of extreme excitement before major collapses will continue to appear forever, only under different forms and across different markets. The question is not how to make the market stop creating these traps. The question is whether you will choose to invest the time and discipline required to recognize them, or continue swimming according to instinct and become a regular meal for those who learned this game before you. The person holding the fishing rod is not the person who is lucky. The person holding the fishing rod is the person who has spent time observing, endured the boredom of waiting, learned from past experiences of having their stop losses taken out, and most importantly, had the courage to confront their own psychological weaknesses. The market will never become more fair, but you can become more aware, and ultimately, that is everything you need to transform from the fish into the person holding the fishing rod. Subscribe to Trading Mindset Lab to learn more about market psychology. Listen to my videos and apply these lessons to your trading process. They can help you develop a stronger mindset and become a more disciplined trader. This video is created for educational purposes and shares a philosophical perspective on market behavior. It is not specific investment advice. Every trading decision carries the risk of losing capital, and each individual should conduct their own research and take full responsibility before participating in financial markets.